Hello and welcome to Dingle All the Way. I'm Simon,
And I'm Lizzie.
and we're going to talk about the last couple of weeks of Emmerdale, and they are putting out episodes any day they fancy. At the moment, it seems we've had two, I
Yeah.
think, Sunday episodes in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's quite relentless. I am confused by it. I think that the one they just put out today was supposed to be tomorrow, but there's some sort of like football or something. Because I'm pretty
Oh
sure
right.
when Dr. Todd was speaking into her dictaphone, she said tomorrow's date. I might have made that up.
Oh, good
Um,
spot.
I think I will say I didn't. I don't think I spotted that. I think, did I just see it on Reddit? I think I saw it somewhere and I was like, oh, someone said the date. So
Yeah, that was almost a great get. As it is, it's sort
I
of petered
know.
out into nothing. But
I just I just think you've got to be honest about these things. I wouldn't have noticed that in a million years, and you know that.
yeah, well, sport does seem to be deranging everything. Um, and just before we had this call, I was talking about how my cat and I are on the same antibiotics, and that's where my life's at. So I hope everyone's doing better than me.
Yeah, truly all is not well with you, but it's really good to see you trying to keep going.
Like, if you wrote a character in Emmerdale who was like this person living on their own who was taking the same antibiotics as their cat, you'd be like, this is too on the nose.
There would be complaints to Ofcom.
And I want to be clear that we're taking them for very different reasons. I don't know if that helps the situation or not. And
I
I
don't
did not have to
know.
put mine in pill putty, so
On
that's
earth
something.
is pill putty?
Oh, it's worth its weight in gold. It gets cats to eat pills. So it's
Wow.
like, I guess, squidgy meat or something. I don't
Oh.
know.
My parents' dog is just so excited about anything that you might give him. He doesn't really seem to care what it is. So if you just hold a tablet and you're like, Basil, what's this? He comes over, like wagging his tail, and he sits down in front of you and he's so excited to eat it and he just eats
So
it. I
adorable.
know. They used to like put the tablets in cheese so that he would eat them, and then
Mm.
they realised like he just blindly accepts like anything you give him, and they're like, "We're
That's
wasting
so
precious,
nice.
precious cheese on
Precious
this."
cheese. Whereas Huggies will often assume that the food I've given him every day for years is actually now secretly an attempt to poison him. So we did have a cat once who would only eat her pills. It's really, she was sort of turned her nose about anything else, but a pill was a very
Oh,
exciting novelty to her.
could you have
Gosh,
put
we
her
really have
medicine in
one.
pill format?
Her food, you mean?
Yes, that's
Yes,
exactly what I
yeah.
meant.
Normally we at least start talking about Emmerdale before we get onto the tangents. So.
I think the tangents are arguably the only interesting bit about this podcast.
Well, I think the main storyline, I don't know if you agree, for me is the Joe Dawn thing, because it's certainly the thing I've been
Mm,
cheering on the most.
yeah, definitely. I really loved that Dawn has finally seen through Joe and been like, oh, actually, you are a nasty piece of work and I don't like this. I'm interested to know your opinions on how it ended, because I was kind of gutted that she was like, oh, you know what? Actually, it's fine. Like, as long as there's no more secrets. Like, it's not fine, Dawn. He watched someone like getting attacked and filmed it instead of helping.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to think about where her line is, because she already knew that he stole a kidney, and that was something that she was willing to sort of move on from.
Yeah, she sort of threw him out the window and then got over
That'll do it. It's a real load off her mind, and indeed off the second floor of that mansion. Um, so yeah, she like it's hard to see her motivation, because she knows he's evil, and she doesn't seem to mind. He's sort of replaying this as like, I had to do it for us. It's like, in some ways you didn't have to do it for at all. Like,
In no
you
way
did.
did you have to do this.
And again, you've got a farm out of it that is near constantly on the brink of going bankrupt. Is that really worth sending a woman down for slavery?
Yeah, truly not. And I'm sure that earlier in the plot line, Joe was like, oh gosh, I thought that this was just going to be like a tap on the wrist and she'd get off. I didn't realize it was like as major a human trafficking situation as it is. And showed like, not remorse, but a bit of like, oh dear. Whereas now he's just being like, oh, I don't care. Like, sure, what if I knew all along? It's
And
fine.
then
I
called
did what I
Moira a
needed to do.
slapper.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
That was rogue. Yeah. And he also seemed to suggest in this recent episode that it's because John was a bad person. And like, I don't see how blackmailing Victoria fits into that.
Yeah, or how like not helping Victoria from like escape getting killed by him. What?
Yeah.
I don't get it all.
But yeah, as you say, like at the end, she was like, as long as there's no more secrets. And he looked guilty, but I couldn't think what the secrets were that are left. Are there still secrets?
Well, I mean, there's always secrets. But I didn't know whether she fully understood the gravity of the Moira thing. Oh no, she does actually. I
Does
thought
she
that
know about
maybe
the
he.
planting the IDs and stuff? I can't remember if that came up.
I can't remember either. I thought maybe she didn't, but she probably does. I don't know. I just feel like there's always something with Joe.
Yeah, maybe it's something we don't know. Makes me like, oh, I did
Yeah.
kill someone.
And
Or
he is
something.
certainly teaching Lucas to chant about how the Dingles are peasants and then being like, don't tell your mum.
Yeah, peasant was a weird one. Like, is that something people are still saying?
I don't really know what they're trying to sort of like cast Joe Tate as in terms of his background or anything. He does seem to have unusual vocabulary, interests, background, hobbies. He's just a
Yeah,
creature. Yeah.
just a creature, but he's certainly there, and that's something.
Yeah.
What do you think of the current hairline? Happy?
I
Or
think it's
hairstyle,
quite.
I guess.
I preferred it when it was shaved, but it is quite fun now when he raises his eyebrows. His whole hairline moves up and down with it in a way that I imagine it did before. It's just a lot more noticeable now.
And I'd forgotten that when he had the enormous quiff, it was like a little mini earthquake going on.
Because the quiff was just
Whenever he
always
was
on the move.
surprised, it was always hither and thither.
That's so
um,
good. That's so
but
good.
I did feel, oh yes, other evil things Joe's done recently. Organised for Holly's memorial to be smashed up.
I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, that was awful. Is that a secret that he's kept from Dawn? Because he was like, oh yeah, I didn't really know anything about that. He never really
And maybe
admitted that
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 was
was
the
him.
secret.
Or maybe he did admit that that was him.
And
I
God
don't know.
bless the good British workman who will be like, sure, all right. So we've been told to, so no further
You don't need to
questions.
ask any further questions this time. We will just smash up this memorial, and that's okay. To be fair, they did say to Joe, like, is this going? He was like, yeah. And they were like, really? And he was like, yeah. So
Yeah, he did say yeah twice. True.
he literally said it.
Well, when I was getting my bathroom redone and I wasn't here, the bathroom guy did just send me various photos of things he found, be like, "Do you want this?" And every time I'd be like, "No." So maybe it's it's a thing. They're just like he'd be like, "Do you want this horrible rusty thing you just, like cabinet?" And they'd be like, "Do you want
No.
this memorial to a much loved daughter?" It's like, no,
No.
okay.
Just send a simple WhatsApp back. No.
No, trash that one. They seem to have smashed up and then put it slightly to the left. It was just like in a pile.
Yeah, it was confusing how it all happened. I don't really get it. But
I felt so sorry for Lydia being caught in the middle of the like
I
Dingle Kim Tate
know.
feud.
And everybody just sort of coming for Kim when it was to me quite clear that she wouldn't have done that. As in like she has been evil in the past, but she never would have done that like consciously. Maybe that's because we mainly see the side of her that like relates to Lydia and is kind, but it just felt like they were really coming for her more strongly than they should have been, especially because everybody knows that Joe's the evil one, not Kim. And yeah,
And
Lydia was
they
just
seem
there
to,
like,
yeah.
what?
And even when they seem to know it was Joe, they used to be like, "Oh, well, it'll be on Kim's orders." It's like, so Kim's ordering Joe to order these workmen. Why don't they go and poison the workmen as well? Yeah, because we had the like, who poisoned Kim?
Yeah, that was quite
Storyline. That
fun, wasn't it?
it was fun. It was short lived. I'll say it was like the who pushed Joe. It
Yeah.
was like, oh, it was Graham. I'm like, what? So, like, I thought this like Emmerdale, like back at it with the pacing either too long or too short for everything. It's either like we're
Yeah,
going to
so
drag this one
true.
out for a calendar year, or this one we're going to tell you whilst it's happening. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I was really like, oh, I wonder who's run Cain over. And then, I mean, also because I was watching the episodes back to back, was like 5 minutes later, you're like, oh, that's
oh,
who did
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So poor
But yeah.
Kim has had lots of painkillers ground up into something.
Yeah, did we ever get to the bottom of what that was?
Well, we saw Graham had done it, but I guess he just
Yeah, that's
got it
true. I'd
into, I
forgotten
don't know
about
how he
that.
administered it, and like maybe it was in the morning orange juice because she does love to stand in that kitchen in a power suit and drink orange juice. So that's her main
It's the
job.
only thing that gives her life.
And he was on the phone to someone being like, I don't need any more of the painkillers that you were.
True. I'd forgotten about that. He was like, the double dose didn't work or something.
Yeah, but the hospital, and I don't know if they contacted the police. I guess the police must have been involved at some point. Maybe they were there. I forget. But they seem to have been like, "Oh, she's older. She probably just accidentally took 100 painkillers." That's
Yeah,
what it'll
they
be.
were basically like, it would appear that you just lost your mind and that's fine. But she's not that old.
No, she's not. Despite the fact that, again, all this conversation about the wills does suggest they think she's going to keel over any moment. But
Yeah, true. Yeah,
yeah,
interesting news. My main takeaway from the whole mushroom poisoning thing was it was just really great to see a bit more of Ruby
oh, yeah,
because
it's nice when
she
she
hasn't
gets
been around as
involved.
much. Yeah, and like seeing her at Wishing Well Cottage was also just quite fun. A bit of like a clash of different cultures.
And apparently, the wine they're drinking was her wine of the week, which is a thing she allegedly has. So,
Maybe also having a wine at the wine of the week.
well, she's got that wine business that, as far as I can tell, just means that she just wanders around with a bottle of wine in her hand occasionally, being like, "Do you want some wine?" So,
Yeah, what happened with that storyline where she like accidentally bulk bought all the wine from Italy and then was trying to sell it? I really thought that was gonna like go a bit further, but then we haven't heard anything else about it, have we?
no, she just like sold it all to the pub, and it turned out it was Caleb just buying it all, and then she got mad, and but
And then that
that
was
was it.
that.
And now
Yeah.
she's got a wine of the week, so that's she's
Does she
marketing it.
does she have a wine bar somewhere that we haven't heard about?
Now I imagine she just goes around the village being like, "Do you want to try the wine of the week?"
Here's my wine of the week. You coming in?
Because it seems like she is both buying in wholesale and selling in wholesale. So she's providing nothing in the wine production like chain. I think she's just an unnecessary obstacle.
Yeah, and goodness knows she's also drinking in wholesale, so there's gonna be at some point it's gonna come crashing down around her.
Yeah. I just can't imagine if her business model is someone's like, oh, instead of buying it from this person, they can buy it from me once I bought it from that original person for slightly more money.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
true.
But,
Oh
you know,
dear.
but
There
I
are
guess
so many businesses in Emmerdale that we
so
don't
many
quite
businesses.
know how they work and we don't care to find out.
No, I mean, she could at least do like a little wine tasting session or like some sort of events based thing that maybe she could link up with Hindus for the whatever the wedding business is called.
Yeah,
Take a
take
vow.
a vow. I would love to go to a Ruby Milligan Fox or just Milligan wine tasting.
Oh,
Like,
that would
if
be
she
lovely. I
was
mean, I
running
don't
events,
drink, but
that'd
I'd
be
love to go.
amazing. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
just smell them or something.
Do you think she'd do it sober? Because I can't imagine she would.
Surely not.
Like, dear sweet Ruby is off her face in a professional capacity yet again.
I feel like don't a lot of wine tasting events involve you like not necessarily drinking it all but like spitting it out?
I have
That
only
could
been
be
to
you.
one. I could spit wine.
That could be something you get into this year.
Yeah, I did once. I can't remember where I was. Somewhere I met someone who was like training to be a sommelier, and everyone else was absolutely fascinated by this and kept asking her questions. And I was like, I'm really not interested because he's
I
going on for
actually
so
couldn't
long.
care less about anything that you're saying right now.
Yeah, I mean, good for her, I suppose. But
Not for you, having to hear about
not
it.
for me. Just let's all calm down. But maybe Ruby's a trained sommelier. I wouldn't know.
I also wouldn't be surprised.
So, but yeah, going back to Robert, like I like he's funny told Aaron. There's some sweet scenes. I like it when someone apologizes for something that they have done, albeit not to the right person, and and they do a sort of like, I am mad, but we can get through this. I guess we were just anti Dawn saying that, but I think that's because Joe's like just full power evil, where Robert was
Yeah,
sort
and
of
that's
black
because
male.
their relationship has no real foundation or heart, whereas Robert and Aaron, it truly does.
Yeah, and Aaron being like, I didn't get to say goodbye last time. Oh my
I
gosh.
know. know. And we got to see Danny Miller get all teary-eyed.
And chiseled. Have you been watching his gym journey on Instagram?
I haven't, but I have been watching Emmerdale, and I saw him walk in and I thought, goodness, you look different.
Yeah, he did a big reveal on his Instagram yesterday, being like, look, I'm buff now. So,
Wow.
yeah, good for him.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
Well,
Just as Robert's off to prison, so you won't even get to take advantage.
I really don't think he's going to go to prison. I think
I
there'll
think
be like
you're
a
probably right.
last-minute discovery of that storage unit.
That's true, which apparently is very significant. Because I don't know, has it just got things for Celia's like written down, I did it all on bits of paper?
I think that probably is the only thing she ever wrote down. Meticulous records and a spiraling personal journal.
Wouldn't that be great? She's just like, I had to get out of my system. I've written it down in rhyme.
But yeah, it was nice hearing them be like, oh, I'll wait for you, like, even if you have to go to prison again. You know, they're strong. We love them.
Yeah.
We love an angsty Robron scene.
Because
we
last
know
time
it's
Robert
always going to come through. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, last time Robert sort of wouldn't talk to him and then sent divorce papers. So this does seem like a healthier way around it.
It's a real improvement on that, at least.
It's a real step in the right direction.
Yeah. Steps forward are being made in Robron.
I really thought we'd have Seb here by now, but not yet.
Yeah, true. You made big predictions about Seb, didn't you?
I did. Well, I guess they were maybe years predictions, so they might still come true.
Yeah, that's true. You've got, well, I guess we're like a quarter of the way through the year, which is terrifying.
Yeah, I guess so. More than that, yeah.
Almost a third.
Horrible stuff.
Yeah, that's quite nasty. Lucas exists, though. We saw him.
He's chanting.
Children.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
Peasants.
And he looked a lot older. I think he's had a haircut.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time we saw him. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think he sort of just floated in and out when Evan was in hospital.
Yeah, R.I.P. Except he's fine. We don't need to R.I.P. him.
Well,
I hope he's resting in some peace. I just hope he's got some living peace.
Yeah, I hope he has a measure of peace. I mean, I wish we all had a measure of peace.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be nice?
Do we think that Dawn's going to get back together with Billy after all of this? Because that would give Billy something to do.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the spoiler, and this is a spoiler that I'm going to have to ring a bell for. So don't listen, guys, for the next few minutes if you don't want to catch the spoiler. But Dawn's been axed.
I saw an article about that and I thought it can't be true. Is it true?
Just going for denial, are we? I mean, you've seen the same article I have. I've got nothing else to go on.
I just think surely not. They always say that someone's going to get axed. They always make things up. It can't be true. I like Dawn. Olivia Bromley is so good. We
do love her, and I'm sad that she has had nothing to do except look stupid around Joe for months on end.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if she got back together with Billy, if she can find him. He's around somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, he's probably just in a shipping container or something.
Yeah.
I hope you're wrong, but I fear you're right.
Although there's always a nice possibility that when people get axed, that they can then come back in like 2 years and actually get storylines.
Yeah, that's true, because it does feel like, I can't remember who it was who wrote this on some sort of forum that I was reading, but it feels like everything that could have been a good storyline for Dawn ended up just not really coming to anything. Like, her past was interesting, like her adopting Clemmy, interesting, the leukemia storyline, which sort of just evaporated in the end, like her involvement with Joe, where she's just like, oh yeah, that's actually fine that you did that. I don't know, I just feel like the writers could have done so much more with her character, and they've made her like not nearly as interesting as she could have been. And if they are axing her, I'm like, that's annoying because it was your fault.
Yeah. Is it their total refusal to write storylines for women in their 30s?
I think it might be.
What have they got against them? We've got so many and they just don't get to do anything.
Yeah, like, we're a meaningful community. Come on.
A meaningful community. Speaking of storylines that didn't go anywhere, it looks like Kerry and Eric might be getting a divorce or might not be. I don't know. It was just like weird, wacky, fun, kooky storyline that was just never mentioned on screen, and now is a big headache.
Yeah, I find it really weird. It's like, yeah, we'll get a divorce. Actually, no, we won't. We'll just still be married, but you can have a boyfriend. And I feel like it's very odd. Like before, they were kind of not publicly admitting that the marriage was a sham, as in they were like taking fake wedding photos that it was convincing. They were like doing all sorts of things to be like, no, like we are really in love. I've always really cared about you. And now she's like, lol, I've got a boyfriend as well as a husband. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
everyone
sure.
seems to just be like, we just don't have time for this, Kerry. Like, fine. Okay.
Okay, fine. I'll drink some Prosecco with you in the pub, but like, whatever.
It's like, we've got so much going on. It's the least of our concerns.
It
But
really
yeah,
is.
it was weird because, like, obviously they're both British citizens. They don't need to prove that they love each other to anyone to get legally married. It's like no one's going to check up on this. You can get married whenever you like, if they're not trying to
Get a
move to
green
the
card.
country or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So I don't know who benefited by being fooled by this. But it doesn't matter anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think it's just annoying as well because we talk so much about how we need more platonic male-female friendships in Emmerdale, or just any platonic friendships in Emmerdale. It's just a shame that the one platonic male-female friendship in Emmerdale is one where they're actually married.
And Eric is, I would say, never showing any signs of friendship. He is constantly horrible to her, and then being like, "You mean so much to me." It's like, when?
Yeah, it did feel quite out of character, him being like, oh, actually, you guys can go out. Like, it was heartwarming, and I'm glad it happened, but it didn't seem very Eric, did it? You'd think he would be a bit more
Yeah,
bitter and, like,
a bit
twisted
more
about it, and
manipulative.
yeah.
Although I also found it was quite a lot when he was like, "You don't get many opportunities for love." It's like, firstly, you do, Eric. You've been married like 100 times. So everyone in this trio has been married multiple times, but also love, because they were just like doing stuff on his desk. I'm not sure they were in love.
Yeah,
And
Eric
it's a real step
himself
up.
used the phrase, which was quite uncomfortable, rotting like beasts. Like, do we think this is love? And I just think, well, I don't think that it's going to work now. I think half the appeal was like the secrecy and the like power dynamic. And now that that's gone, I think they're just like, oh, I actually always hated
Yeah.
you, sorry.
Yeah. Until 2 months ago, we did despise each other, and that hasn't fully gone away.
Yeah, but let's see how it goes. It was also like, I think supposed to be a heartwarming scene, that one where she's drinking the smoothie and like they get back together, but it was just very awkward.
We did get a nice email from James the past couple of days. I just wanted to quote him. He says, Jay is fantastic. His gallivanting ways of carry a much needed light relief to the show. Both actors also seem to work well together. And I was thinking, like, we obviously went from finding it sickening to being mildly pro, but I don't know where I've landed. Like, I certainly don't ship them. I'm not like, can't wait to see what Jay and Carrie are up to next. Can't wait for the inevitable wedding bells. But I did enjoy it as sort of like, at least someone's having a nice time.
Yeah, it was a real light in a very dark place when everything in Emmerdale seemed like doom and gloom. And that was when I saw the Jay and Kerry storyline, I remember a scene finishing and I just found myself thinking like, oh, that was like an Emmerdale scene that I really enjoyed, and I was quite surprised. So yeah, I feel like I don't hate it. I also don't love it. We'll just have to see where it goes. But I
Well, I
am.
sort.
No, you go.
You go.
Oh, okay, I can
So,
go. This is so awkward. I'm sorry, I'm making
go,
it
go, go, go,
awkward.
go. It better be good now.
Oh,
Better be
it's
something
really not very
important.
good. Oh, it's not important at all. Just the fact that obviously historically we like our mantra has been that we hate Jay. I don't think I hate Jay anymore, and I totally get James's email being like, he's doing a really good job. He's acting well. Well, Chris Bisson is acting well. Jay is like not super uncomfortable to watch anymore. But I do think at heart he is deeply unpleasant, and I'll be interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I don't hate him as much as I used to. I think because he's been quite sweet in this. I think we're seeing a bit more Chris and a bit less Jay in these scenes, because Chris
Yeah,
always
true.
seems such a nice guy.
Yeah.
But what I think will happen is that we will not hear a moment more about it until some inevitable divorce or something, or they need to get proposed to, or Carol will be pregnant. I don't know. It doesn't feel like they're going to give them a lot of screen time.
Are they going to be the next Chaz and Liam, where they barely look at each other?
Oh gosh, maybe. At least they don't seem to feel sick of being each other's company in the same way that Chaz and Liam do. I mean, when Liam was at the Dingle dinner, I was like, why on earth is Liam there? I was like, oh yeah, wait, he's engaged to Chaz apparently.
I had the exact same train of thought. I was like, what are you doing here? And then I remembered, like, oh, you're literally getting married to Chaz.
Except as we've said, that wedding is definitely never happening.
Yeah, I will eat my actual hat if they get married.
One final thing on Jay, I wanted to ask you as a northern correspondent, or at least northern resident, is he said pictures for cinema like someone from the 1950s. Is that something that you hear a lot out and about in Yorkshire?
I think maybe, but I might have.
Off to pictures.
Off to pictures. I'll listen out for it. I feel like maybe, but like
it's lovely. My dad says it.
I'm not sure.
But that's sort of like a whimsical throwback, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to say when you're like, maybe it's just in my mind now because you said it. But I think I maybe do hear it a bit more. I think it feels more like a Manchester thing than a Yorkshire thing, though.
Oh, really?
So,
where's Jay from? I don't know. Is he from Manchester?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really paid attention to his accent.
I wouldn't be able to tell you what the Manchester accent is. It's absolutely none of my business.
More like who else is Manchester in the show?
Oasis Manchester? Are they Manchester?
Yeah, they are. I was trying to think of an Emmerdale person, but yeah, they're Manchester.
Horrible. You mentioned the Who Ran Over Cain mystery. Will it ever be solved?
How will we ever know?
We'll take that one to all of our graves, but
our communal grave. We'll take it to the mass grave.
We'll take it to the mass grave. I thought it was shot so well. Like those final few seconds of the episode when they were like had those different people walking to their cars and driving, and then came the road. I loved how they shot that. It was a bit inventive and fun.
Yeah, and everyone was on gravel.
Everyone was on gravel, and gravel was one of the drivers. So.
Sentient gravel.
Sentient gravel.
Well, I had literally so much gravel in that episode. Hard to know where to begin.
But turns out it is the overtired medical student, which, he was overtired.
He was overtired. And I do struggle to know how legit that is in terms of, I think Dr. Todd is right, that just like being a medical student is really hard, and most people, like, that's the only thing they're doing. And so that's like, they can make allowances for it. And maybe if he knew he was a medical student and that it was going to be very, very hard, he potentially shouldn't have also tried to like do IVF at this point in his life.
Or work full time in a shop. That's something else that he could potentially put on the back burner.
He could have thought about that while, also trying to prioritise his career. You can't prioritise everything at once, is what I'm saying. And he appears to be trying to do it all.
He does. Yeah, occasionally. I did note down it would be quite funny had it been like one of those Agatha Christie illustrations where, in fact, all three of them ran over Cain. It was just like one after another. Everything like flung from bonnet to bonnet.
It was the Hotton bypass crash.
But much like being shot, he seems to have brushed it off him. He's fine now. So.
Yeah, everyone's really brushing things off. Like, Jacob was not okay for maybe like 24 hours. He couldn't stop crying. And then suddenly he's just fine. Cain was like, it's all right, I'll take the blame. And he was like, oh, okay, cool, nice.
Yeah, no worries. Speaking of Jacob, he resuscitated someone with a do not resuscitate order, and I asked your dear friend and mine, Monty, who you have now met. So
I've met him now at least.
Who is a doctor. I asked him how binding is a DNR, what are the consequences if a doctor breaks it? And this is what Monty had to say.
Yeah, DNA CPR is quite confusing because actually it's not a legal document or necessarily solely the patient's decision. It's a medical decision, usually by the senior clinician and members of the multidisciplinary team. So it happens very rarely. I can't think of any cases of it, but in theory, you could a doctor could go against the DNA CPR and not necessarily face legal consequences for it, but it would be very unusual. So, for example, maybe a sort of an elderly-ish patient with early stage dementia has a DNA CPR in place, and they choke on some food. If the paramedics go there and they take the food out of the mouth, but the patient suddenly goes into cardiac arrest, the paramedic might justifiably think that attempting CPR for that sort of potentially quickly reversible cause might be justified. Patients' families may take doctors to court, and a battery could be considered. But I think it's a very complicated and grey area. But the long and short of it is, DNA CPR is a medical decision, and in theory, you can go against it in certain circumstances if you can justify it. But I think that's extremely rare, and it's not legally binding. However, it is legally binding if the patient, when they had capacity, made and signed something called an advance directive. So that's basically saying what they'd like in the future if X happened to them, and if they specify that they would not want to be resuscitated, then that is a legal document, and going against it would be illegal. Yeah, I hope that's cleared things up, but it's a very complicated area.
Thanks, Monty. And Monty actually followed up saying, if it was an advance directive, as this one was, we know that Dr. Todd's dad signed it when he was compos mentis, then under the Mental Capacity Act, that is legally binding. So Jacob did break the law by resuscitating him. But it doesn't feel like it's going to be mentioned again.
No, I doubt it. Well, actually, I don't know, because I'm interested to find out what you think is going to happen with this whole Dr. Todd thing. It feels like she's getting kind of weirdly obsessed with him, and maybe going to try and frame him for being obsessed with her. So I don't know whether the DNR thing might come out at some point if she's sort of trying to build a case against him. I don't know. Where do you think this is going?
Yeah, maybe it's another little voice note that she's building. But I imagine it will come out in some sort of litany of things at some point, and some of that litany, like him just willy-nilly telling people that their daughters are dead when they're not. Is he like
that
valid?
was a lot. I do get it.
What I did find strange in that story was like her shouting at a patient and sort of roughly handling him, and then her being like, actually, he's my dad, and everyone being like, oh, that's fine then.
Oh yeah, in that case, sure.
Shove away.
Him to the ground.
Kick him.
Yeah, literally not okay.
Yeah, and they had quite a sweet scene about that, which I don't know if that was a genuine moment from her or if she's just trying to lure him in. But I've seen some theories that she is married to Maya or in some way related to Maya. But
then surely she would have known, when she like Googled.
Well, that's true.
And found out about what the history. Surely she would have known that in advance, or maybe she didn't. Maybe Maya's out of prison and she's only just finding out.
Yeah, maybe. She's definitely married to a woman. It might be Maya.
So true. Yeah. Although I expect we will meet her wife sooner rather than later, because everybody who's related to one of these doctors does end up in the hospital on a regular basis. It feels a little bit like, when like parents are applying to secondary schools for their children, it's like, if your siblings are already there, then obviously you can go to that school. It's like, yeah, of course you can work here if you've got like any family members who are long-term patients. Like, don't worry,
please get on in.
You have a job. Like, it's the main reason that we employ people, actually.
My workplace is a bit like that, to be honest. So most people there seem to be related to other people. Yeah, I don't know how much you know about the Maya stuff, but for anyone who doesn't know, so Maya used to be married to Liam. That's how she first turned up in the show, although then they got divorced, and she was dating David when she started having like an affair with Jacob whilst he was a minor, and he was keeping it secret, and it became this big reveal of him being like, we're going to run away together. David found out.
Isn't David Jacob's dad?
Yeah. That's
really bad.
Yeah. Or in fact, his stepdad or something, but he called him dad. So yeah, so it came out, and that's when Jacob thought he'd be mad because he was having an affair, and he's like, obviously was like, I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at her for like having sex with a minor, I don't know if they had sex. I don't know. But, something inappropriate with a minor. They did have another love triangle with Victoria where it was less sympathetic to Jacob's plight.
Yeah, wow, nasty. Okay. Interested to see how this goes.
So we said if Dr. Todd's going to use that against him, because bless Jacob, he's been through a lot.
He has been through a lot, and I did think that. I watched a couple of episodes with my housemate Anna and was like vaguely explaining who's who and what's happened and stuff. And yeah, Jacob's been through a lot. Like his mum basically only just died, and presumably he's still trying to process that. Especially with did you catch that moment when Dr. Todd was just like, "I'm not your mother," and it's like you literally know that like his mum died only about a year ago. Why don't you not be so mean? So he's trying to process a lot. He's about to start a family, but also Sarah's long-term ill. He's just got a lot going on.
Hasn't he? And it's hard to know what Dr. Todd's like motivation is, but maybe she doesn't have one. Maybe she's just evil. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like she's definitely power hungry and seems to be like enjoying playing mind games and like being like all friendly one minute and then angry the next. And I wonder whether now she's a bit like in too deep and has to like find more stuff to keep going with it. But yeah, I don't know where it's going to go.
Trixie, but what I do hope, obviously, is that we get more Manpreet in this storyline.
Yeah, we've certainly had a bit of Manpreet. Maybe she'll sort of save the day. She'll see through it and be like, what are you doing?
I have seen, again, this is another spoiler, so sorry people, fast forward a comment, it's a very minor one, that Dr. Todd is going to move into the village and she's going to move in with, who was it? Maybe like Vanessa or someone. It's like Manpreet, her alleged friend, lives in the village. Currently, as far as we know, house sharing with Ryan. It's like,
of all people.
Surely your friend would move in. You can move Ryan off somewhere else.
Yeah, like Ryan could live with Vanessa if someone's going to live with a complete
stranger. Someone has to.
Yeah. Also, does that mean that her wife is going to move to the village as well? Why would she move out from living with her wife?
Or maybe her wife's in prison.
Can you imagine? Yeah, I think you've cracked it.
I was thinking, people obviously live with house shares for any number of reasons, but are we really at the point where a successful doctor who is 50 or something has to move in with a local vet?
Yeah, if anyone's buying up prime real estate, it's Dr. Todd. Or at least just renting the place that Aaron and Robert used to be with all those banisters, because that's empty right now.
That's true. Yeah. So watch this space. I'm interested in that storyline. In fact,
yeah,
I've been finding all of Emmerdale quite enjoyable at the moment, which has not been true for a while.
Yeah, it's been nice.
We had yet another special episode.
Yeah, that's true. And I will say that was maybe the episode I was least invested in that lasted for a while.
Why don't you care about men's mental health, Lizzie?
I do. And that was like the bit that I was interested in. I really loved, I love Marlon and Paddy's friendship. I love all friendships. But when Paddy came in and Marlon just gave him a big hug and I was like, oh, that's so nice. I love that. I think I did just find the like, let's go and smash things up thing a little bit farcical.
It was weird that the police had just like dumped all their furniture in the garden for some reason, and they apparently thought the police wouldn't mind or notice that when they smashed it up. But they're probably right. The police don't care about that.
Yeah, the police do care about very little in Emmerdale.
Yeah, only about missing van keys. That was something they were very animated about, lest we forget.
Yeah, they were like, "You lost your keys and you never told us." I've lost my keys. Shall I go to West Yorkshire Police?
Absolutely must. Well, they haven't got around to picking up the key ring that apparently is very significant and on the ground in the garden.
Yeah. So. In fact, they literally, they picked it up and then put it back down again, which is quite frustrating.
And like in theory, I like the idea of a special episode focusing on their friendship and men's mental health and all that sort of thing, but it did just seem to be them like monologuing how pathetic they were to each other.
It was a bit of a tough watch.
Yeah.
I personally love the idea that Marlon, who is, of course, a dingle, would bring safety goggles along to go and smash some stuff up.
Oh, he would though, wouldn't he? Bless him.
Of all the Dingles, he would, but he still wouldn't.
He still wouldn't. He did at some point describe himself, or maybe Paddy described him as Marplon, mixing together Miss Marple and Marlon in a way that I
Yeah,
appreciated.
that was quite fun.
They've
Miss
never explained what
Marplon
Man
was.
Club is. They keep talking about Man Club. I don't know what this is.
Is it just when they hang out?
Maybe it seems to be like some sort of mental health thing that Paddy got help
Oh.
at. But can you imagine if it's just them sitting down with like Bob and Caleb or something? Because that would like help no one.
I would love to be a fly on the wall.
Can you imagine what helpful advice Bob would have to offer?
No.
No.
Of course
Is
not.
anyone back?
You probably just sing. Oh,
Yes, we didn't cover Bob singing for last time, but it was hard to know whether we were meant to enjoy it or not, but we certainly didn't.
Yeah, I don't think we were meant to, surely. But I thought that Bob was meant to be kind of a good singer. And he really, truly was not.
Well, I don't know if he's meant... Well, he's meant to be like karaoke in a pub good, I guess, and to that extent he was.
Yeah,
Just I don't want to hear it. So I don't go to karaoke in pubs.
I guess something good that did come out of that special episode was that Marlon and Rona chatted about the Graham issue, and obviously whilst it was aggressive at first, I really enjoyed their sort of second conversation about it, because as you know, my main thing in Emmerdale is like, why is no one just telling the truth and telling each other how they feel? But it finally felt like two people here are just having a conversation about something that is quite difficult, telling each other how they feel. There's a bit of honesty, and at the end of it, it was like, cool. Like, that was hard, but I appreciate your honesty, and now we can move forward.
It did feel very mature, unexpectedly mature, and yeah, thank goodness. When Rona was like, I was always going to choose you. It's like, well, were you? But I'm glad you did.
I think at times you actually weren't. It was just because Ivy needed picking up from nursery. But
we did have a terrible scene with Graham and Marlon, which I know I'm always slagging Graham off on this. I think he must be very hard to act against because he gives the other person absolutely nothing to work with, and he two lines: "Am I ridiculous?" and "I don't forget anything."
And you're like, how am I meant to have a conversation with this robot?
Exactly. It's like, give your fellow actor at least something to work off, because he just issues everything like it's the like final tagline of a terrible trailer. Like, you don't have to always be making your own like catchphrase for Terminator 8 or whatever.
It is really, really strange, the fact that they have created a character who acts like that and expect people to just like be normal people around him.
Yeah, it's really odd. And he's got absolutely no chemistry with Rona, I would say. Like,
no chemistry. Something I also don't understand, and I know that we spoke about this in our last episode and it is all over the internet, but I will just draw it to everyone's attention again anyway. It's like, why have the costume department not given him anything else to wear? I literally
there was one scene where he didn't have the
understand.
tie on. He was like,
Really?
He was like falling apart at the pieces. Or something. Falling apart at the pieces, sure.
In a way, aren't we all?
Aren't we all? But yeah, it's like when a soap woman doesn't wear mascara, she's falling apart. It's like when he doesn't have his tie on, or hell's breaking loose.
It's the end. Yeah,
it's the end. But no, I know we said it every time. We'll never cease saying it. Some people have been like, "But you don't complain about Aaron's black t-shirt." It's like, firstly, he should wear more, but also like a black t-shirt, he could have a pack of 8 of those and just wear them on rotation. That would be quite normal.
That's the kind of thing you bulk buy.
There's someone at my office who only wears a black t-shirt every day. No one really notices. But if someone wore like a full suit with the identical tie every day, that feels like more of a choice. How many of those suits has he got? How many of those ties has he got?
And a black t-shirt every day does kind of fit more different circumstances. Like, you're popping to the shops, you're not feeling very well, and you've just chucked something random on. Whereas, like, as we said in the last episode, he's just getting out of bed and getting straight into a 3-piece suit.
And it all adds grist to the mill of him being a ghost. Like, we don't know that he's not a ghost. So. He
does seem ghostly.
He does seem ghost-esque, and that's hard for everyone. Yeah. I've got... Oh, let's talk a little bit about Moira, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have much written down for Moira other than that sort of moment of hospital passion on that horrible bed was just like too much for me personally to think about, but especially for poor Liam.
Oh yeah, he was just listening to the grunting and grifting from the outside.
Grunting and grifting. What do you think that sex is?
I'm very sheltered. Yeah, I mean, I sort of liked that it happened just because I think it's the first time Maury's been happy in the last 4 years. So at least she had something to smile about briefly.
At last.
It did remind me of an episode of Porridge where they sort of engineered some complex situation to get out on day release. So it did feel slightly like sitcom-y, but in a way that I appreciated. But yeah, and good for them, I suppose. But also Moira's expensive lawyer has just been like, oh, just plead guilty. Less paperwork.
That does seem odd, doesn't it? And
like, I could give that
hopefully she won't get the chance to, but yeah. That if anyone's grifting, it's that lawyer.
He's grifting, and we do not know about the grunting, but he's definitely. Yeah, we've got the amazing legal defense of Robert going to see Bear and just being like, so did Celia do it? And it's like, what was he hoping to ascertain from that? When Bear's been relentlessly questioned.
And also relentlessly doesn't seem to know or remember anything. Why did you think that you could tease it out of him?
Also, don't you have to have approval for who comes to visit you? He didn't seem to know who it was.
We've spoken about that before. You do have to, you can put people's names on a list and they're the ones who are allowed to visit.
Unless Robert was pretending to be Paddy or something.
They do look alike.
But yeah, it was odd that his big plan was just to go in and be like, so have you thought about saying it wasn't Moira? Had actually.
Has it crossed your mind at all?
Has it crossed your mind at all? Don't sue us, Simply Red.
They're always listening.
Yeah. Mick Hucknall loves Emmerdale, that much I know. Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming Moira won't go down, but maybe there'll be some moving thing where she's just about to say guilty and Dawn breaks in and is like, no, Joe did it, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or that someone breaks in and is like, look, we just found all this evidence in a storage container.
Yeah, it really, I guess it's that storage container that I can't imagine what would be in there that would help, but because it's so obvious that Celia did it already. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It would have to be like, it was me. It was all me. And I'm so excited to be throwing Moira under the bus. Love from Celia.
Yeah. Well, Godspeed to the police, whether or not they'll care about that. Kyle went missing. He was on the stairs of his own home. That's the last place I thought of it.
He doesn't live there anymore. All credit to him.
Yeah, fair. There is that. But where did they look? I don't know. It's like I've checked our house
everywhere.
I couldn't think of anywhere else he might be.
Yeah. Oh, bless Kyle. He's done a good job of acting recently in terms of finding Cain
definitely
by the car and all of that stuff. I think he's
true. He did such good work. Yeah, he did a really good job of that.
Yeah, and that was really dramatic with Moira being on the phone and not knowing what was going on.
That's true, and the very tactfully and sensitively cast prison lady behind her with 2 teeth or something. Like, get her down.
I kind of loved her.
What's her story?
Who's this diva?
Or the next life, we don't know.
Oh my word, so true. It's me in 10 years.
In 10 years. So you've lost all your teeth to, I assume, heroin or something. But,
thank you.
Yeah, and did the actor not have many teeth? Did they black out some of her teeth? Was she wearing?
I didn't notice the teeth or lack of at all.
She had so few teeth.
I'm gonna have to rewatch. I had it on while I was. I had Emmerdale on while I was planning out all of the activities for this kids' weekend away that I'm running in a few weeks' time. So I wasn't paying enough attention to the teeth, clearly.
Yeah, well, anyone who spotted how many teeth she had, do get in touch. dinglealltheway.pod @gmail.com. Let me know if I've hallucinated the teeth issue. I think I'm down to strays now.
I'm down to strains. Strains.
Down to the strains.
I'm down to the strains. My laptop is saying it's on low battery, but I just think I probably will make it through to the end. Is that a bad idea?
Well, let's just plow on. If you disappear, you disappear.
Okay.
Give me a stray.
My first stray is at some point in the last 2 weeks, someone said, like, where's Freya? And I was like, who's Freya?
Who's Freya?
I don't know. I'm sure someone mentioned somebody called Freya, and I was like, what?
Are you sure?
Shall I Google it?
Who said it? Is this some child I don't know about?
Emmerdale.
Any luck?
No. Okay, I must have heard something wrong. There was
could have been
an actress called Freya who had a character in Emmerdale.
That's probably not who they're after.
Portrayed Angie Reynolds from 1999. No, okay, never mind. Cancel it. No more Freya.
No more Freya. Freya. Again, if anyone knows, dinglealltheway.pod. Maybe that's the name of the prison lady. She looked like a Freya.
Did she?
No. Kim was reading a Jilly Cooper novel at one point in hospital, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Jilly Cooper famously loves books about horses, so it does make sense that Kim would like a saucy book about a horse.
Yeah, I would have seen her maybe as more of a Dick Francis, but...
Well, I guess... I don't know, I feel like Jilly Cooper is the same world, same horse world.
Horse world.
Maybe she's Dick Francis when she's business and Jilly Cooper when she's pleasure.
And hospital is a pleasure.
That's a real time out for her from standing and drinking orange juice.
There isn't really much to say about this, but the fact that Ross had some great lines. One of them was when he was trying to guess the passwords, and one of them was like turkey teeth Tate. And we say it all the time, but I think Ross is just hilarious. I really like him.
I don't know if he's ad-libbing things or if they've got a separate writer for him or alone, but his comedy lines are just so much better than anything else that is
in the whole of Emmerdale.
In the whole of Emmerdale, frankly.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just like to say something funny at this point, Michael. And he always provides. I love it. He's going to obviously have an emotional storyline at some point when Charity finally gives birth.
Oh my word. When on earth is this baby going to be cooked?
She's still pregnant, ladies and gentlemen. But obviously we love the comedy. We lost Tracy this week. She went off on maternity leave. She finally left.
Oh
yeah. And Billy drove her to wherever she's going. I forget where she's going. And she said, Billy's van saved me a fortune in taxis. Was she just planning to like move all her stuff one taxi at a time instead of hiring a removal van?
Yeah, just back and forth and back and forth.
Or just like a little stream of taxis. One's got like a wardrobe in it.
Just like a convoy, like when the royal family are on the move.
It's like, Tracy, you've not thought this through. But luckily it all worked out. Billy was there to save the day.
Yeah, sweet Billy. I've got one which is also maybe a psychic corner, because I think we always talk about how when like evidence and stuff is deleted, we're like, obviously there's going to be copies of that. But Dawn was like, it's gone from your laptop, it's gone from the backup, and it's gone from the cloud. And I did think you did that very quickly, but at least the scriptwriters have covered the bases, because I don't think I would know how to delete something from the cloud. It just automatically goes there, but I don't know how to ever get it off.
That's true, unless you had like Google Drive open or something, and that's it.
Just happened to. But like when stuff from my Mac goes into the iCloud kind of automatically, I don't know how to get it back.
Look, when things are in the cloud, they've already gone as far as I'm concerned. I'm never finding them again.
And you are part cloud.
I wish I were. I thought it was funny that Eve was given a day off school because her dad got given his court date. They kept her off school just so they could sit around and be like, yeah, it's March. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
great.
and then didn't they just sort of take her to the pub or something?
Yeah. It's like this school, child. I mean, we've never seen this school or any evidence that any children attend it, but apparently they just, come and go as you please.
They must have the worst attendance percentages in the whole country.
Except Johnny's presumably lives there because we've never seen him. So.
Yeah, true. He is a boarding student. The rest of them don't ever turn up. It's a fun hybrid that they do.
Yeah, that's Yorkshire for you.
I love that. My final one is that there was one scene, and I think it was around the time when Paddy got his court date, where obviously Mandy was supposed to look like she'd just got out of bed / wasn't doing very well because she wasn't wearing any makeup. However, she had the most enormous like eyelash extensions on. And I was like, do you sleep in those? Do people sleep in eyelash extensions? I guess you can't always
I
take them on
couldn't
and
tell
off.
you. I've never extended
So
my eyelashes.
not even once. So yeah, that was quite a lot.
Yeah, that was too much. I've got 5 more things to say somehow.
Oh goodness,
So just
okay.
rattle through them if you got no more.
No, you go for it. I've got nothing
just
else.
General note that I enjoyed the Scale-Electrics and Caleb just playing Scale-Electrics before work.
Yeah, that was nice.
Speaking of games, it was amusing that hopscotch was apparently a very sensitive topic for Dylan.
What was going on there? He couldn't
The fact that he didn't know the family rules for hopscotch made him feel incredibly left out. So, I mean, we've all got different trigger points and things, in our histories, and for him it's hopscotch.
Yeah, and then it was the fact that Paddy was also like, I can't believe that you did that in front of him. It was like, I don't think anybody could have foreseen that was going to happen.
No. And how often have we had scenes where they assure Dylan he's part of the family?
But
I guess we're going to have to... Yeah. And also, who plays hopscotch in 2026?
I didn't even know it was a game. I thought it was just sort of a way of getting from A to B.
in the most inefficient manner.
It's just a transport system and needs.
You meant to throw a stone and then go around it or something, but certainly I would say predates the computer, but it's not something we need in this day and age. Aaron is now apparently the head of the family, a position that means nothing, that everyone takes very seriously.
Yeah, why is everyone so obsessed with that? That was another thing I had to explain to Anna, and she was like, what does this mean? I was like, honestly, kind of nothing, but also everything somehow.
And also I'm sure Sam and Cain, maybe even Belle, were like joint heads of the family already. So.
Yeah, they literally decided that they were going to do it all together, and now it's like, actually, they're out and Aaron is in.
Yeah, and James had mentioned in his email that really it should be Belle, which, she makes more sensible decisions than most of them.
Yeah, she's the only one with a vague grasp of common sense.
Yeah, but I did enjoy Aaron and Cammie's little squabbly scene at the garage. That was quite fun.
I mean, I just enjoy Cammie.
Yeah, we love Cammie. It's no surprise to anyone. Paddy and the cat, that was an elaborate scene where he's like, you killed a cat, and he's like, no, I didn't.
I'd forgotten all about that.
It was very frenetic. That woman, she certainly gave her all, that woman who brought in her cat.
Good for her as well.
Good for her. She's can put that in her show reel. She showed every emotion imaginable.
Every single one under the sun.
My final stray thing, I'm sorry to say, is about Bob. It was quite surreal that we had quite a protracted conversation about rotas that didn't seem to have any relevance to anything.
Yeah, and then Ryan just sort of peered around the corner and was like, if you don't like your rota, you need to tell me in advance.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching like a training video.
So weird.
But good to give them some screen time, I suppose. But I really thought it would have some point, but it was like it's like Chekhov's gun. It's Chekhov's rota.
Chekhov's rota. Why were you forcing the nation to watch this very, very boring kind of HR scene?
Yeah. I find it serious when I have to do my own rota shifting at like church rotas. I don't need to see it televised.
I don't need to televise my church suite swaps.
We love church suite.
I hate church suite.
I do find church suite quite baffling. But I love putting in my unavailability on it. So that's nice.
It's the most satisfying thing when you're just like, please don't make me do anything.
Oh dear. Gosh. Well, that's the end of my stray things.
Oh, well, should we do the random character generator?
We absolutely should. And today we are going to say what we think of Cain. It's a big one.
Gosh, that is a big one. I really like Cain. I feel like sometimes he is written in a way which is a bit beyond belief. But I really enjoy seeing his softer side. I find his harder exterior at times annoying, but it is at least true to form when he's like refusing to show emotion and talk about things. You're like, that is just what you're like. It's not like he's doing it, the writers are doing it to prove a point. It's like, that's literally what he's like. Yeah, He's got a lot going on, but everybody in Emmerdale has.
Yeah, I mean, I like Cain now quite a lot, and he's a great actor. But he, in the past, when he was so horrible to everyone and would like often kidnap and torture people, which was a lot. There was one time I stopped watching just because he was so vile to everyone all the time, and I was like, I can't deal with this. Particularly Amy at that point when she was pregnant with his baby,
Oh, goodness.
and yeah, it was all just too much, the whole Hardman thing. But yeah, like you, I like he's softened. His relationship with Moira really helps. I feel ungrateful when we're always asking for unlikely friendships. That I do find his with Liam quite tiring sometimes, but it's nice that it exists.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That like I've obviously only started watching comparatively recently, and so I'm a bit like, oh yeah, Cain, like he's difficult but lovable. But yeah, there's definitely been character progression there compared to how he used to be, I suppose.
He killed someone's dog a while ago, so that was a long time ago.
Oh.
That's something he probably wouldn't do now. But yeah, I guess because he's been there such a long time and is, in the big family, he's got very nuanced relationships with like Charity and Chaz and Sam and Belle and Sarah and all these like relationships that have been built up over sometimes decades. And yes, and still works really well with like Cammy or some of the newer cast. So yeah, I think the show would definitely be poorer for him like that. I do wish occasionally there'd be some like learning. So like he has had character development in terms of softening, but that seems to come more from like being older and more contented in his relationships. It's not from like the many times he's learned not to like try and control people or to
he does seem to have like big light bulb moments quite regularly, but then forget about it maybe 3 weeks later.
Yeah, and he's certainly been through the wars, medically speaking. He's
in a war.
He's in a war with the world. What do we want for Cain's future?
Just like a little holiday, I guess, and like stop getting hit by cars.
Just for once.
Just for like one sweet week.
Yeah, I think obviously hoping everything goes fine with this cancer storyline. I'm going to put that to bed. And actually something I really want is for him to actually remember, when Charity and he had that two-hander and she said like, whenever what was it, like show you this pot or blow a whistle, or I forget what the sign was.
It was a necklace.
There we go.
Show you a pot or blow a whistle.
I was circling it. I want the necklace for him to actually respond properly and be like, okay, yeah, I did promise you that I would look out for you then.
Yeah, I would really like that as well. That would be good. Yeah. I would like him to have a bit more time with Carl and Isaac, because he's like trying to run a farm and a car mechanic place, and you're like, just spend a bit more time with the boys. I think that's something you should do.
That'd be nice. They could have a little story of some variety.
Exactly.
He could be, I know, put on a play with them or something adorable. That'd be nice. But I guess he's now running a farm in the backyard of his house or something.
Yeah, I know. Is this us segueing into farming content?
I suppose it could be, yeah.
I feel like we've had talk of it but not seen it.
I don't think we've seen any farming. I think
no.
That was all when we had so much the previous week. We can't ask for everything.
Before. But I am asking for everything, and everything is farming content.
Farming content, the old FC.
Yeah. This week waning. Last week waxing. This week waning is farming content.
Oh dear. Well, thanks so much for listening, everyone. Do get in touch at dinglealltheway.pod at gmail.com. Let us know your predictions or whatever, I guess. Most importantly, how many teeth that lady had. Yeah.
Just keep us abreast of anything happening in your personal life. We're here for that.
Have you ever been on the same antibiotics as your cat? We need to know.
This feels really Jeremy Vine at this stage. Not in a good way. That's not a compliment.
No, how could it be? I do have his email address, but that's neither here nor there.
Why? Why have you been emailing Jeremy Vine?
He actually emailed me But because when I was on Eggheads, he took a photo and emailed it to me. So there you
What?
go.
That's crazy.
That's where we'll end that one.
Yeah, nice. Well, good to round things off in the only way we know how.
Bang time.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.